began with a single unsettling announcement. The beloved actor GeneHackman, famous for his captivating performances and guarded personal life, had passed away under circumstances that defied immediate explanation. Moments after the news broke, whispers of something deeper emerged. Rumors of an FBI-led search, cryptic clues scattered around his sprawling New Mexico property, and a secret tunnel carved into the depths of the earth. For many fans, the notion of Hackman living a hidden life was almost impossible to fathom. Yet, as details began to trickle in, one thing became clear. The story behind this famed actor's final days was far more tangled than anyone could have imagined. But how did these rumors start? And why did the authorities seem so tight-lipped about the entire ordeal? Initial reports were little more than faint echoing claims of unusual circumstances, with no official word on whether foul play or tragic misfortune had taken the lives of GeneHackman and his wife Betsy. This silence from the FBI and local law enforcement sparked an immediate flurry of speculation. News outlets circled the property, hoping to glimpse a single sign of movement. A black SUV arriving unannounced, or the harsh glare of flashlights bouncing off high ivy-covered walls. Yet no one came forward to calm the swelling panic. Instead, more questions piled up, each one more perplexing than the last. What was hidden beneath the estate's luxurious exterior, and why was it discovered only now? Days later, a solitary leak found its way into the media. Anonymous insiders hinted that investigators had, in fact, stumbled across a heavily concealed tunnel beneath the mansion. The mere suggestion of a secret passageway in Hackman's home set off a public frenzy. People wanted immediate explanations. Was it a relic from a previous homeowner? A hidden safe room for an aging celebrity desiring absolute privacy? Or was it linked to something more scandalous? A covert endeavor that put Hackman and his wife in danger? The estate, valued at a reported $4 million, had always been rumored to contain hidden chambers. Over the years, local whispers described labyrinthine architecture, concealed rooms with misleading entrances, and even ghost stories about strange figures drifting near the gate at midnight. Most brushed these off as tall tales, relics of overactive imaginations. Now, the suspicious timing of Hackman's death brought those once dismissed rumors surging back. Within that concealed tunnel, FBI agents reportedly uncovered crates caked in dust, some sealed so thoroughly that prying them open required specialized tools. From the vantage point of those who caught brief glimpses, it seemed as though the items inside belonged to a different era. Yellowed letters, faded photographs, and even battered journals with unreadable scribbles that spanned multiple pages. In some corners, they found eerie symbols etched into the walls. These markings were neither random doodles nor typical decorative flourishes. They carried a certain deliberate pattern, almost like runes or coded references. Investigators shone their flashlights over each crack, each curve, making note of every uncanny sign that might point to a hidden meaning. Could these cryptic markings reveal part of Hackman's private life that he never shared publicly? Or did they implicate an entirely different narrative, one the public wasn't prepared for? The more reporters pressed authorities for answers, the quieter officials became. Instead of issuing clarifications, they offered polite refusals. One spokesperson declared that the case was under active investigation and that no further statements could be made at this time. Another simply walked away as soon as cameras appeared, fueling theories of a cover-up. Online communities buzzed with elaborate speculation. Some people insisted that the tunnel had been used for clandestine meetings, that unsanctioned events took place beneath the estate's manicured lawns. Others believed it was an old bomb shelter from a bygone era of heightened security, a leftover from older property owners who had lived in constant fear of global conflict. But the presence of modern items, including cell phones with partially charged batteries and medicine bottles that were not decades old, cast doubt on the notion of it being just a historical relic. As the tension grew, so did the curiosity about Hackman's final days. He had lived a relatively quiet life away from the intense glare of the public eye, but that calm exterior now seemed like a carefully managed illusion. Friends who once spoke of him as a genial host began sharing stories about unannounced visitors who arrived at unusual hours, sporting inscrutable expressions as they slipped through side entrances. One neighbor recalled seeing an older sedan with tinted windows parked outside the gates at dawn, only for it to vanish moments later. In the wake of this tragedy, the property itself became the center of a swirling storm of theories. The estate stood in a remote corner of New Mexico, surrounded by mountains that offered a natural fortress against prying eyes. Equipped with thick iron gates and security cameras perched atop tall walls, it was designed to repel intrusions. Reporters and investigators had to navigate winding roads to approach the front entrance, only to be waved off by law enforcement vehicles stationed there. Meanwhile, aerial footage captured from passing helicopters showed glimpses of the estate's layout: meticulously manicured gardens framing the massive stone structure, a circular driveway leading to an ornate front door, and patches of land that seemed intentionally left wild near the outer edges. This carefully balanced design hinted at meticulous planning, suggesting the possibility that someone went to great lengths to keep something or someone concealed. Anyone who underestimated the gravity of the situation soon changed their tune once the search warrant documents started to leak. Bits of text, partially redacted, told a story of officials who arrived expecting a standard procedure only to discover something beyond their imagination. The expressions "unidentified underground passage," "unusual items of significance," and "further forensic examination required" appeared throughout the warrant's pages. Unnamed sources indicated that what started as a routine search quickly escalated into a more complex investigation, requiring additional manpower from specialized units. The mansion, once admired for its stylish architecture, now resembled a crime scene from the outside, with taped-off areas and checkpoints installed around the property. None of this fully explained why GeneHackman and his wife's passing was labeled suspicious. Were there signs of forced entry? Did the couple know something that led to their demise? Conflicting versions circulated. Some tabloids speculated that the couple might have fallen victim to a lethal plot orchestrated by unnamed adversaries. Others floated the grim theory that one or both had faced personal despair so profound that they chose to off themselves. However, these attempts to label the tragedy overshadowed crucial details, like the discovery of the secret passage and the bizarre objects that pointed to hidden chapters in Hackman's life. The official cause of death remained undisclosed, though corners of the internet predicted everything from lethal poisoning to a carefully staged accident. The deeper investigators dug, the more they realized that Hackman's public persona might have been just one facet of a multi-layered existence. One rumor claimed that inside the tunnel, authorities found more than just old crates and papers. They reportedly stumbled on scientific instruments that looked like they belonged in a clandestine lab. Who brought that equipment there? And for what purpose? On top of that, someone close to the case leaked that the crates weren't all dusty relics from decades ago. Some contained relatively recent items, like a small stockpile of bottled water, food rations, and brand new protective gear. These details fueled paranoid theories that the actor had been preparing for some kind of large-scale catastrophe, a top-secret event he feared was coming. Or maybe the gear belonged to visitors who used the tunnel for gatherings so discreet that even the staff didn't suspect anything unusual. Betsy, Hackman's friends, painted a conflicting picture. They recalled her as a gentle, warm figure who never indicated she was part of any cryptic dealings. She enjoyed hosting intimate get-togethers, relished her time in the garden, and frequently donated to local charities. Her sudden demise alongside her husband in the midst of such bizarre revelations rattled everyone who knew her. Some insisted Betsy had no clue about the hidden complexities of the estate, believing that if something shady was going on, it had to be a secret project that Hackman guarded. But others weren't so convinced. They noted how Betsy sometimes slipped away from social events for hours at a time, returning with half-baked excuses about feeling tired or needing to rest. In hindsight, those little moments felt like missing puzzle pieces that might point to deeper involvement. Why would a man of Hackman's stature involve himself in hidden dealings that required a tunnel, cryptic symbols, and potential advanced equipment? His closest companions described him as contemplative, occasionally pensive, but never alarmingly so. Some had even teased him about being overly cautious. He was known for double-locking doors, installing state-of-the-art security systems, and rarely trusting new staff without a thorough vetting. Now, all those quirks looked less like harmless eccentricities and more like warnings of danger that lurked behind the facade of wealth and stardom. Perhaps Hackman recognized that he was tangled in something beyond his control, and these secretive steps were his way of staying safe. Additional voices joined the chorus of speculation as distant acquaintances and former employees chimed in. A set designer who once worked with Hackman on a film claimed the actor had a fascination with historical crypts and hidden passageways. According to this set designer, Hackman often talked about subterranean architecture from various time periods, occasionally remarking how he would love to incorporate a secret chamber into his home. If that was the foundation for the tunnel's creation, it could be nothing more than a personal fascination taken to an eccentric extreme. Yet that explanation failed to account for the chilling symbols or the rumored modern contraband stashed in the underground space. More pieces of the puzzle began to emerge thanks to vigilant watchers who scrutinized the timeline of Hackman's final public appearances. In his last interview, given several months before his death, the actor wore a tense expression. When asked about future projects, he spoke vaguely about tying up loose ends and needing a safer environment for his loved ones. At the time, these comments were dismissed as references to typical Hollywood stress or the desire for a quieter retirement. Looking back, they seemed more like veiled allusions to a larger problem, a hidden crisis that would inevitably come to light. One interviewer recalled Hackman abruptly cutting the conversation short when asked about his home life, stating only that we all keep secrets that might be too heavy to share. Still, for every piece of alleged evidence, there were conflicting accounts. Some insisted that the Hackmans lived a blissfully peaceful existence, taking occasional vacations and hosting close friends without a shred of drama. Others swore that strange events were an everyday occurrence on the property, concealed from the wider world by the estate's isolating structure. An old caretaker pointed out that an entire wing of the mansion remained locked, though no one could say precisely why. Another claimed to have seen the Hackmans stockpile food and water like doomsday preppers, despite never publicly discussing any fear of global catastrophe. Each anecdote, from mild curiosity to full-blown alarm, contributed to a mosaic of contradictory impressions. In the end, the final truth remains elusive. Had the estate's hidden tunnel served a benign purpose, a personal obsession, or a relic from previous ownership? Or did it mask something infinitely more consequential, something that led to the suspicious passing of two individuals who once lived in the public eye? The documentary footage, the cryptic symbols, the diary, if it existed, the concealed crates, all of it formed a tapestry of intrigue, weaving together the real and the unreal until no one could easily tell them apart. Each day, more theories were born than dispelled. As for the official verdict, it still hovers in a realm of uncertainty. Investigations continue, or so the authorities say, but they offer no estimated completion date. If there is a shocking reveal, it is yet to be confirmed. The world is left in this breathless lull, uncertain whether the final outcome will be groundbreaking enough to topple public faith in what we thought we knew about Hollywood icons, or anticlimactic enough to vanish from headlines overnight. For now, GeneHackman's legacy, once solely defined by the roles he played on screen, intertwines with a labyrinth of secrets beneath the desert floor. The memory of his life and work stands at a crossroads, burdened by the potential that these secrets might challenge everything we believed. No matter what happens next, one reality remains. The story of John Hackman's estate and the cryptic tunnel beneath it has left an indelible mark on everyone who has followed this twisted tale. Whether it eventually reveals a hidden world of clandestine plots or proves to be an eccentric anomaly in the life of a private man, the fascination it ignited will endure for years. The final word on the couple's demise awaits that last piece of evidence, the one that will either unravel the entire conspiracy or confirm that we, the public, allowed our imaginations to run wild in the face of heartbreak and uncertainty. Until then, all we can do is speculate and wonder if the next startling piece of information will send our collective hearts racing once again. Because if there's one thing this unfolding saga has taught us, it's that secrets can lie buried in the most unexpected places. If the high walls and secluded setting of a desert mansion couldn't hide the darkest facets of a cherished star's life, then perhaps none of us truly know the people we admire on screen. And that thought alone keeps everyone riveted, waiting for a resolution. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.